In the last class, we talked about aggregate functions, right? This basically is about getting all the aggregate results, right? We try to group results, all those things. And I hope that is clear, okay? And today's class, we will do something more, and it's about virtual properties. And now we will move on to the tour model a bit, and we will do some operations on top of the tour model. Okay, so this I think not here in the model, right? So we have our tour model here, and we will do some operations on top of tour model from now on for almost three classes. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is creating virtual properties. Okay, so this is important when we have to do some kind of we have to create some kind of fields which should not be persisted in the database. Meaning, like let's say I want to create some of the fields here in the schema to a schema, but the thing is it should not be saved in the database. The data should not be saved in the database because it might be redundancy value or some kind of an extra value which is not really needed in the database, right? So for example, now the duration here, right? So the duration we have it here is in the days, right? Number of days. I want it to be in a month, or I want this to be in a number of weeks, right? So it just another value for the duration itself. I don't want to save it here as weeks, right? But I can make it a virtual property so that whenever I try to get the value, I can get it as a week as well. Okay, so let's try and do it. Okay, so in order to do that, so the first thing that we will do here is because this is created on top of the schema, we have to call our to a schema first. Okay, and then on top of it, we will try to create a column method called as virtual method. Okay, and inside the brackets, we have to mention the field of the field name of the virtual property. Okay, so the thing that we want to do here is weeks. Okay, let me make it as weeks. This is the field virtual field name. This will not be persisted in the schema, actual schema. Okay, now to a schema, on top of it we are calling a method called as virtual, and this will create a field called as weeks. And when this should be created, when you try to get the data on get method, we have to call this. Okay, and now, when the get method is called, what should actually happen? Right? What should it return the value for this week's field, right? That's what we should mention here. And for that, we will write a function here. Of course, we should go with the function expression or declaration, not the arrow function. Don't go with that because arrow function won't get this keyword. Okay. So every time this here is the current document that the schema dealing with, right? So this is basically the data. On top of the data, we will get the duration, which is number of days, and we will divide it by the 7 so that it will return us a week, right? So that's it. This is basically it. Now let's save it and come back to get all tours here, and let's hit send again and observe. I think we will not have the week set. There is no name called as weeks. There is duration, but no weeks yet, right? So this is because we have to manually mention it here in the model that we need to allow the virtual property as well. Okay. So if you observe the definition of, sorry, when you write schema, you can also pass options, schema options here. Okay. So these options, in these options, we can mention here, like whenever we show the data in the form of JSON or object, we want to turn on the virtual properties as well. That's what we want to mention here. So you can write to JSON, okay, and we want to turn on the virtuals, and same for the objects as well. Whenever you show data in the form of JSON or objects, we are turning on the virtuals to be true, right? So this is passed as an extra options to the schema, right, while creating the schema. So that's it. Now this should be visible here. So let's come back here and hit send again. And let's just scroll down a bit. Okay, so here we have weeks property, right? So observe here the duration is 7 days. So week is absolutely one. Okay, so duration is 5. The week would be like point something, right? So point 0.7. So I hope you are good to go with this, right? This was very simple. We use virtual properties on top of the to a schema on either get method or whatever it is to derive some kind of results which are not persisted in the databases. Okay, thank you.